What's up, everybody? It's your favorite truckie's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at TFC's Prometheus Line's Hotspot, or as he is called, Hydrant, which is kind of silly because a hydrant doesn't have a whole lot to do with a fire truck, which he is. There's a couple things about that irritate me, and we're going to get into that as it goes along. I know a little bit about fire apparatus. My father was a fireman, so I kind of grew up around the culture, and as a result picked up a few things. And so I'm a little bit picky. That may or may not affect how you see this individual. But accessory-wise, he comes with this thing, which we're not going to talk too much about today because it has to do more so with combiner elements. And this bag of goodies. I love when third-party packs this type of stuff in these little baggies. It just feels like drugs or something. Then he comes with this gun that we'll take a look at. And as you can see, he holds it pretty well. I was concerned when I saw the pictures because it looks like the type of thing that wouldn't hold very well. But it actually surprisingly does. And we'll take that out. It's kind of like a Gatling gun number, and then it transforms a bit and to like a ladder pipe kind of thing with a smoothbore nozzle. So there's that. The other big accessory that we're going to take off, you can have it on. People were concerned that it was going to be too big, but you can have it on and he stands fine, doesn't impede at all, is this ladder. It is a tight, like a tiger fit. And I'll clean that up there in a minute. Ladder 34, fire rescue, not fire and rescue, but fire rescue, whatever. And this allows it to be in robot mode, and I think possibly combine mode, not sure. And then you can swivel these down, and mine are especially tight, and it makes me very nervous, so just use caution. You can swivel that down, put it in that kind of placement, and then lock these two tabs in, which I'm not crazy about because well, that's the type of stuff that I'll eventually forget about when I'm trying to transform them, 10 years down the line or 3 years down the line, and I will break off. But there's that, and it extends as 3 sections and extends significantly, let's say. Now the figure. Okie dokie. So when I got him out of the box, I was immediately hit by 2 things. One, I love the paint. The paint is, well, it's not all paint to be fair, but like the blue choice of plastic here, I love it. Absolutely love it. And there's a lot of red, silver, black accents all over. There's a lot of attention to the paint. The second thing that hit me, which is this guy's Achilles heel, is how wonky the proportions are. The proportions are all over the place. And it's very frustrating and very annoying. So let's talk articulation, and we'll talk about the mold and so forth as we go on. Head is on a swivel. I like the silver faceplate. I always go back and forth about what I like better, the all black head or the silver faceplate, or the, I can't decide. So I'm okay with this choice. It has a huge bit of light piping there on the back that you can get a nice glow in the right angle. I'll try a little bit later. And there's detail in the plate, the mouth plate and so forth. It's pretty well done. The shoulders are not well done at all. So they hinge at the body, then they also hinge at the shoulder, which does allow for more articulation, but it does make it look goofy as well. And they jet out so far. It's relatively obnoxious. There's also a swivel built in there, and then if you can get this thing out of the way and then move this thing up, you can get a ratcheted up and down there hinge. But why? That's so stupid, isn't it? The dumbest thing ever. Bicep swivel. And I had to recut this because I didn't have it quite right, but the elbow gets you just about 90 degrees, just a little bit shy. And then these monstrous forearms. Great Googa Mooga. It's like Popeye. Or kind of reminds me also when I was like, I think 12.
Dude, you are not going to figure out what I learned how to do. It's awesome, it's fun, and it gives your forearm a hell of a workout.
Dude, gross.
But whatever, tale for another time. There's a wrist swivel built in, and then a hinge on the fingers, which is nice. And it's a solid hinge, like works well, nice and stiff, doesn't feel fragile, very good. There's all sorts of like panel work in there that's nice, and silver paint here and silver paint there. And this bit has the, you know, the siren and the horn rather. And then the chest, the torso bothers me. This arm's the same. The torso bothers me. It's so long. The proportions are off. It irritates me. I don't like it. So we'll get these up. You got a ratcheted swivel there and a swivel right below it. So once again, tons of articulation, but perhaps at the expense of the overall aesthetic. Thighs, very important as we all know for the combiner element, right? Hard, great ratchets. Some of the best ratchets I've ever felt in a third-party toy. It's phenomenal. And you can tell that it's really engineered to be in this position, so when he's standing combined, I think it's gonna be extremely secure, which is always a concern, right? So we have a thigh swivel, which is fine, and a knee, one single knee, but it gets you 90 degrees. It works extremely effectively, and it's ratcheted. The back is cleaned up fairly well, to be honest. There's this, which is like the panel forming element of the transformation, which is kind of obnoxious, but whatever. Like, what are they going to do, I guess? I don't know. We'll see what Make Toys does. And feet are on a ball joint, which gets you a tilt and a hinge. I mean, a tilt and a rocker, and it works really well. And then spurs as well. So articulation-wise, while effective, it's almost effective at the expense or the sacrifice of aesthetics, because he's just not great looking. You know, he almost looks like a combiner right now, just due to how the proportions are. It's irritating. Due to the size of this guy, I'm going to try to transform him from this angle, just to give you kind of a better view of what's going on. So it's not pretty, but it does work. Push the hands in, and they're a pain to get back out, just as a heads up. Open this bit up, swivel it around, cover the hands. Pull that up, front bumper. Same on the other side. Good to go, right? These actually push out. I'm not sure if you need this here or not. We'll see. Alright. And the head pushes down. And it's not super effective. It's kind of stupid to how it goes. Like, it feels cheap, that aspect of it. All right. So that, I guess you can do that prior. Get these out of the way. The combiner ports. Straighten this out. Collapse it down. It should go further. There we go. And then peg all that together. Combiner ports down. This, I guess, is supposed to be like a siren. Not 100% on that. Oh boy. My 8 up. There you go. So these two parts overlap, so they kind of got to go down together, so to speak. All right. Flip this bit up and attach it there. And I'm not even sure you have to do that, but I think the directions say so. Feet spurs go in. This is a tight joint. It is getting looser for me, so that's a good thing, because at first it was extremely difficult. And then you can see how that tabs in there. Same on the other side. All the way down. And then that goes there. There's no collapsing that needs to be done in the legs. That's how huge this truck is, which is nice. So that goes together, and then we start. I think we swivel that around, and then we start getting our panel forming on. This is just a series of hinges that kind of have to be done in the right way. Bring this down, it'll give you a little bit of clearance. So these are tabbed together there. They open up. Same on the other side. And all of that swivels open, which is pretty cool the way that that's engineered. I mean, yeah, it's a panel forming kind of thing, and you know, I get it, but but I do think it's kind of cool. It does work pretty nicely. All right, and then these come to open. And the reason why you gotta kind of have the hips out is so that these can go down and then go underneath the pelvis piece here. And then all of this collapses. I guess these have to actually be forward. Sorry about that. Now, you might have trouble getting this. There is a bit of a trick, right? So it has one tab there that plugs in, and then a tab here at the blue that plugs in. And in order to kind of get the first tab, it has to be straight, and then in order to get the blue one, actually may not work. Let's try this one. So same thing. Make sure it's out. Tab in. That one tabs in nicely. It's just kind of matter of cleaning up as you go. So this one, there it is. That's tabbed in all together. So you got it like this. This actually forms like the frame of the ladder bed, but you got to get this piece over it, and that keeps the front and the back nicely put together. And then you can open that up like that. Take your ladder truck, or your ladder of the ladder truck, plug that in there, and then you can close these around it, and that forms the frame of the ladder bed. And I dig that. I dig that a lot. So there you go. Let's take a look. So there it is in truck mode. Rolls like a champ. Has a ton of detail. Now it has a whole lot of like hose connections, and you know, a lot of trucks do have hose connections so that you can use the ladder pipe, which we'll take a look at in a minute. But over here, like, that's a pump panel, and it really shouldn't have that. That's pretty bizarre, but that's just a lack of knowledge. But all the compartments have, you know, all the handles are painted. The diamond plates are all painted nicely. You know, it kind of irritates me that there's no proper siren, like light bar on top. Has these like translucent, I don't know why I struggle with that word, plastic bits here over the emergency lights and the blinkers, which I suppose are supposed to be headlights, but they're yellow, so there. And then it has a a translucent light here over the Federal Q, which I'm guessing they think is supposed to be a light, but it's not a light. It's the thing that goes. I'm going to put that little sound effect on iTunes. You can buy it for 99 cents. And yeah, pretty good. Nice little detail there. I'm not sure why they chose ladder 34. I'm not sure if there's any significance to that or not, but yeah, pretty clean underneath. Very cool. I dig this truck a lot, and it's huge. And I'm going to show you, get some size comparisons here. Real quick before we do the size comparison, though, I wanted to show you the last bit of business, which is you take the ladder pipe and easily enough slides right in, and the ratchet holds it. Actually, it's not even a ratchet. It's just a joint, but it holds it extremely well. And it can extend with it on there because it's just on the top fly, no problem. Now, the top fly extended with the weight at the tip, it's not going to hold it. So just to give you a couple ideas. So pretty big unit, right? Real quick, there's one thing I want to show you before we do size comparisons in bot mode. So this is how he's supposed to be, but there is this option if you wanted to do it like this. Now I've gone back and forth. You know, I think I might like that better. At least these don't get in the way of the articulation anymore. But I'm not sure. You guys let me know what you think. I can't make a call on it. Neither are perfect, but I think I might like that more. So size comparison wise, there's an MP car. Here's a Hasbro Voyager. So I'd say that he would be a really big Voyager for your classic shelf. I know people go back and forth about TFC's intended scale, but to me, he's a little bit big for classics. That's just my opinion. There he is next to the man himself. I like that. There he is with Groove and Streetwise. And they are looking really good together. So, final thoughts, I gotta say, overall, I'm less than enthused. He's clunky. He couldn't be more poorly proportioned. The torso's too long. The shoulders are too wide. The forearms are too big. The calves are a kibbly paneled Jenga tower. There's elements that don't feel polished, like the head aspect of the transformation and the engineering for the articulation in both the shoulder bicep area as well as the thighs. One of the issues that I continually have with the thighs while trying to pose them is that the element that allows them to form the combiner aspect, which is ratcheted there, always comes off and then makes it even look more ridiculous because obviously thighs don't do that. There's aspects about the fire truck that don't make a whole lot of sense to me in terms of utility. There's no light bar, and then there's a light in the siren, and it's just a lack of knowledge and experience in that field, I suppose. And I think it's overall just a generally missed opportunity to make something really cool. I wanted to get you a better look at that light piping. On the positive side, there are some really cool things with them. The ratchets feel outstanding. Some of the most sturdiest ratchets I've ever felt in my life. They're hard. They're stubborn. You know, like they do not want to move on you, which is going to pay off, I hope, in the long run. The paint is spectacular. The actual like playability with the fire truck is really pretty cool. I haven't played with a fire truck toy since I was maybe 6, and I found myself doing it a lot when I had this guy transformed. His size is imposing. He looks beefy, sometimes at the expense of looking good, but hopefully it'll pay off in the long run. It really puts everybody kind of in a state of concern because it's not terrible, but it's not great, and the things that aren't great about it look like they could, and that's all caps, COULD, could pay off in the long run for a really great sturdy combined mode. But are people going to jump ship when they get a hold of this guy? And I wouldn't blame them if they did. It is scary. You're looking at another $200 worth of investment for an overall investment of like $530. On the other positive side of this, a lot of the things that are engineered in that make it stupid also look like it negates the ability for them to come out with an upgrade set that you'll have to purchase in order to get the defensor that you want later on down the line. And that would be an added bonus and a nice change of pace for TFC and might put the fans more back on their side. Time, of course, is going to tell. I'm okay with my purchase. I have faith in this company that the overall huge beef block defensor is going to pay off. I'm also in for the Make Toys one. I think that's beautiful as well, and then maybe I'll have to see the old psychiatrist to get it straightened out for me later down the line. I have an affinity towards public service vehicles. I always have and always will. So worst case scenario, these guys go up on a shelf as the most expensive fire trucks I've ever had as a kid. With that being said, this is a tough call to make, and it's yours to make. I hope I've helped you kind of see it from both sides, because it's not terrible. It has potential for the bigger picture that you're looking for when purchasing this set. But if you're looking for the individual bots, it's looking like more and more fail, unfortunately. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.